Welcome, everybody. Nathan Erznosnik here with also
Mushka.
Mushka. We're excited to be with you today. We have an interesting topic. You're going to want to hang around as we talk about, again, we started this road here a little bit ago, Mushka, but we have a saying in our business in ThriveWorks 360, and it's you to the X times your business to the Y equals exponential output. And there's a spin to this. And one of the things that we're looking at doing that's not necessarily grounded in just a process, but there's this new thing that you might have heard about called AI. In today's topic, we're going to be diving deeper into you to the power of AI. And we have 5 simple questions we're going to be putting out there for everybody. And then we also have a few resources when we're done, if you're interested, where you can ask yourself a series of questions about yourself and your business to see maybe where you're at with AI as a whole. So stick around as we talk about this. We're going to take about 10, 15 minutes to go through these questions, Mushka?
Yeah. Or
You
maybe
by
less.
chance have those up on your side?
Let me see. I do.
Let's go through this. If you're following here, part of ThriveWorks 360 or here, Nathan Erznosnik, we're excited about continuing our journey as we work with different clients and helping them find ways of implementing different processes. We have one called Autopilot 360 that looks at the process and the details on scaling a business, and the front side of that, which we call Bridge 360, which is bridging the gap between the customer and the clients into your perfect or your ideal world, helping you make more profit. And one of the key ways we're doing so is through AI as one of those tools as well. In fact, Mushka, you don't know this. I'm going to tell you this story. I had one of the best compliments and testimonials. I wish I would have recorded this for everybody. Last night, it was about 10 o'clock. You know, I'm busy working into the evening. And one of the clients that I work with, we've done a few different things with them regarding how they operate within their team, what this is, and more importantly, how and what they're doing when they're engaging with both potential clients and their existing clients to maximize those relationships. And they had this opportunity that knocked on their door, and it had to do with the potential of, in essence, what I found out yesterday, the largest client and customer in this category. Okay. And I did not know this. But all I know is when I started sitting across from the table from the business, the owner, this gentleman is in charge of all the operations. He's executive vice president of operations, and he's really trying to put everything together. I'm like, I don't know if these people have ever done something at this level, have presented something in the way that I myself would expect to be presented to. As you know, you go to grow a business. In the past, just really quick, I've worked with several different businesses. My last venture was taking a business. It took me 14 years to take the business to what I like to say is to double the business from 5 to 10 millions, and then 3 years to take it from 10 to 30. So I learned a whole lot of things. And as I was doing so, I worked with a various set of high-end customers and clients. And I'm sitting across from the table and I'm just thinking about this. I'm like, I don't think they know really what they're doing based on the processes that they currently have. So Mushka, we worked through some things, and some of those were critically and specifically AI related. So what I did is I used tools like we do as we teach our different customers and clients ways of capturing through conversations and through documents, extracting those types of things, putting together and using AI as far as presentation and
Exactly.
the PowerPoint creation and all those types of things. And what we found out is he kind of called me a little bit emotional yesterday, but he said, we just got word that the largest company that this SaaS software company has, so it's a provider of services, the largest company in the entire ecosystem,
Right.
has decided to move to this company because of it. And so it was huge. And by the way, it doesn't happen overnight, right? This was winning this business. And then his boss called him and said, dude, you're getting a raise. And so there are all these things. Now, by the way, if you're following and watching this, one of the things, Mushka, you might know is in my history, I would say I'm very, very passionate about this you to the X, your own ability to accelerate your abilities. And I've done that with many people. So career-wise, I've helped many people
I can be an example of that.
I appreciate it. We're going to come back and we'll maybe have you share some of that here just a minute. And I appreciate your willingness to share that. But people to increase their value and their worth within the organizations. I like to call them key players. So you've got your business owners, your entrepreneurs, and then you have their key members that are really ideally the ones that drive this business to success. So coming back to it specifically, what we found is that they were able to win the business, which was a big 2 thumbs up. We're doing a lot of other things for this company as well. In addition to strategies internally, we're helping them with market and bringing more people to them also. But Jeremy himself has greatly improved his capability because of AI, Mushka.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we're going to talk about is this. So maybe let's get into this and you can just share your kind of spins. I had to share that quick win. It was not expected. I'm not doing that for you guys to know. I'm just letting you know that's how strongly I feel about the things that we're talking about. Okay. And I'll just use this last piece is I believe that processes can get you pretty darn far. What I
Mm.
don't believe is that without a person who fully is engaged in using their best, their core key things that they just naturally do very well, and coupling that, okay, with the tools that are around them, you can't take a business where it needs to go. Like you can do processes, but processes are broken. And again, even if it's with AI and or people, if they're not correctly tied together, they don't work as well. And so there's a major strategy. And Mushka, that's one of the things I know you have talked about is one of the key things
I
we look to do is through strategy, right? Go ahead.
I'm thinking about something. It might be a bit off track, but I'd want to talk about it. Whenever we talk about processes or whenever we talk about, machines doing things, it always takes me back to Industrial Revolution. And somehow we have this idea that, oh, machines can do everything, and we are supposed to, just leave it all to the machine and they'll get it done. But I always think that even if you have like a plant of something, manufacturing stuff, even you have a supervisor for that particular plant or that particular machine, which is actually supposed to be an assembly line or something. You have someone who would actually be there looking after if this is working properly or not. And that is context. That human form or that human person is context. So even if you're using AI or using whatever you're using, you need a human to integrate with that AI so that the process goes well. That was just a thought that came to my mind, and I just wanted to share that. Apart from that, I am so excited about Jeremy, and I had no idea about that. I was like, oh, that's great. That's amazing. I have met him a couple of times, and I've seen the AI integration happening in the business processes. And I've seen him personally starting to use AI for like tasks that are important but kind of like a chore. So I've seen that. I'm so excited to make sure that we propagate whatever we are talking about in the masses and see the difference, and not only in improving those people and businesses but improving lives in general.
I love that. It is something that I believe a lot of people are. And this now, if you're one of these, I want you to ask yourself this question honestly, and then Mushka, let's go ahead and go through those
Yeah.
questions that we have. Okay. But are you avoiding it? Now, I don't think that people purposely avoid. Does that make sense? I do feel, and this is by the way, I've had a lot of I have to think about this in my mind mentally quite a bit is how well and how excited am I? And I'll use a Cheryl DeWick on her book Mindset, by the way. Love it. If you haven't read it, go read this. But one of the things you can do is you can change the way you think about things or the way you see, the way you perceive them. And I believe right now, AI is a lot of people. There's probably three major categories. There's like, great, whatever. I don't know. I'm going to use an extreme one. It's going to take over. It's going to kill us. Probably one day it will. But they're almost wanting to play ignorant because they're not thinking that it's going to do anything in my life or it's going to be hard to learn. So like there's this weird friction, like how hard, it's too complicated. There's so much. And by the way, I am with you because even today, trying to find out what is the best AI component as companion for any one of the things, writing or email or searching or putting content together or extracting it, like it can be very, very overwhelming. So I get you. So I think there's a group of people that fall into that bucket, Mushka, that don't know or aren't quite sure how to move forward with it. And then I think there's a group that is dabbling and they are moving forward regardless of
Yeah.
what it is. And I would like to say there's probably a fourth group, which is those that just understand and know it really, really well. Like I keep on looking at that and it makes me feel like I just don't know enough or I don't know where to really go next. And so I think those type of people that are super successful with it and are building apps without even having to build apps, right? I've dabbled in that too, but I feel like that's probably why. But coming back to it, I'm going to say, regardless of where you're at, I am asking you to turn your ears on to hear and to
Yeah.
listen, not for the things that are destructive, because we can choose what things we want to filter, okay? But for those things and how you can decide AI becomes an elevates your life. And Mushka, you did a great example the other day about shopping and goods and your recipes. And so to me, by the way, AI is around us, and we as humans and we as people, we're all about convenience.
Yeah,
I'm trying
we
to think
are.
of a book I read that talked about burning calories. I can't remember the direct reference, but we as people, we don't like to burn calories. And AI, just so you know, is going to help us
Nathan,
burn less calories.
you're burning calories. You're hitting a nerve here.
But there you go. So anything we can do to reduce the amount of calories we burn AI, it's going to be your best friend. I'm telling you that. It's going to be something
Oh,
that
it's
we
already my
will.
bestie.
Yeah. You're not going to know what it's like, what life has been without. And I'll be honest with you. I think it's going to take a few years, but I'm telling you, you're going to want it as soon as you got a taste of what that is. It's going to be pretty amazing. So, but lean into it. Mushka, let's go ahead and get your thoughts really quick on the questions we're going to review today.
Okay. Do we start with the questions?
Yeah. What are your thoughts about what we're going to talk about, maybe regarding what we're looking to do?
We are going to talk about we're going to discuss 5 questions where what are the what like how where is AI with respect to you and your personal growth, and how is AI helping you, or how could AI help you as a person? And we're not going to talk about businesses. We're just going to talk about you as a person, and how can AI help elevate you as a person.
Okay. And what do you think people should be thinking they're going to be taking away from this when they're done?
I think one key factor that people can take away from this entire conversation is rethinking how they're doing their normal everyday things and how they can use AI to help elevate them. Another thing would be to be more open to the idea of AI, to be like, oh, okay, this is something that we might want to try. So I would want people to be really open to the idea and maybe start dabbling in, and maybe start, putting their feet in the water like a little bit, one baby steps, one toe at a time, and just try what it is.
Okay. Let's go ahead and start with that first question. And then as you're following along, ask yourself this question. Obviously, put yourself in the place where you are the one answering. And then we're going to go through and we're going to answer these questions and look at what we can do as we move through them. All right. What's the first question that
Okay.
we have there?
We have, how can integrating AI amplify your personal strengths to achieve exponential growth in your business and life?
So say that one more time.
Okay. How can integrating AI amplify your personal strengths to achieve exponential growth in your business and life?
All right. And let's just talk about this potentially in your life. So again, how can it amplify what you might already be good at? Is that a way that you would simplify that question?
Definitely. Definitely, I would say that. Like, I'm already
What's
good
the
at
first
certain things.
what's the
Okay,
first thing that comes to mind?
the first thing that comes to my mind is this is embarrassing. It's human errors. Like, there are so many times when I forget certain things, and then I'm like, oh, so, and then I go like, if only I could do that. So a very simple example is, I don't know, I don't have an Alexa, but if you had an Alexa or any other sort of AI, I would tell that particular dear robot of mine to remind me to turn off the oven in like 30 minutes so that I don't burn anything. Okay, this is embarrassing, but human errors. So anything that can help me reduce human errors, or most of the times people who are working, who are doing adulthood alone, they're overwhelmed by everything, by work, by chores, by everyday life, by human interaction, by social interactions. So I would try to integrate AI in a manner where it eliminates all sorts of errors that I might do because I'm just overwhelmed and I'm overstimulated. That would be my number one. And I actually do that. I actually take help of my AI a lot. Like, I'm always telling my AI, am actually telling in my iPhone, I'm telling my Siri to just do certain things and remind me of certain things and do certain other things so that I don't forget, and I am like being at the top of my game, and my emotional and mental space is not just taken up by all these things that I need to get done. And these are not even like difficult things or things that are complex, but they're just things that need to get done. So that would be my part.
Thank you very much. I want to add just a little bit to that. Mine's not too sophisticated. One of the things I had thought about regarding AI, if you think about this, your personal strengths
Yeah.
is think about it like a smart multiplier. So If you're thinking you can be smarter with the help of AI, because there's so many things we don't know or I'm not quite sure how. And I've looked
Yeah,
at this, by the way, and I say this because I would love to be more proficient in love writing. I do not, and
yeah,
I'm not a great person with writing. Now, that doesn't mean that AI solves the problems for you. But I do think that if you understand the way I like to say or the way I like to share things, I have used it many times to help me come out with a better way. And I have found that I use other types of small things, and you might not consider this AI because they're like programs or tie-ons, but things like Grammarly. And so and by the way, we are going to
I have a
get,
story.
yeah, I was like, we're going to get lazy because of this, but go ahead.
Okay, this is bad, and I hope my cousins are not watching this. So, what happened is like I'm known for writing very heartfelt birthday texts, right? I'm known for that. So, Nathan, stop
Sorry.
judging. So I'm known for that, right? So what I did was, and this is the complicated part, we can take out this part. Like I trained a bot that can talk like me, but we can take that part out. Let's just talk about normal GPT, normal Claude, any normal AI, any free version of AI. So there was this one time, and this was very recently. It was a cousin's birthday, and I was so tired, and I was like, "Oh, I need to write her a wish." And I just literally, I was like, "Yes, I love her, but what do I say?" Like, I was really tired. I had a long day. I was tired, so I went into GPT. I gave GPT a bit of context, like, I'm this person. This is my cousin. This is how many years she's turning today. This is the kind of relationship I've had, like 3 or 4 lines. And can you write a birthday wish that's warm, heartfelt, sounds like Mushka, empathetic, and makes her feel amazing, and all those, like the tone and everything. And it came up with such a good wish. And I was like, yeah, like I could sound like that. And I sent her that wish, and she was like, oh my God, Mushkapi, I thought you forgot, or you forgot, because obviously it was late at night and the entire day had gone by and I was busy and everything. She was like, I thought you forgot, but I got the best one in the last wish. You saved the best for the last, and it was so good. And I was like, yeah. So yeah, that's a bit embarrassing, but it was a lifesaver for that day at least.
No, I love that. One other thing too that I think about when you talk about that Mushka is the fact that maybe what I would say is I overcomplicate. And so to me, it's a simplifier. So I can say, how do you
Yes,
take something that feels complicated and simplify it? So that would be a great way.
yes,
And that's how I use it also as an amplifier, is using a way to extract my thoughts and put that in a way that makes it easier for somebody to engage with. So ask yourself that same question. What are you doing? How are you maybe able to use it as a smart multiplier for yourselves? Um, it might be something that you could have a conversation with it about also, to find out what you like and what you do and how it can also help you. Easy way to do
that
that with
is
a
true.
simple prompt in there. Let's move to the second question. It says, what specific areas of your life, and again, I like to say life or business, so you can say really, we're looking at the
Yeah.
you to the AI at this time, could benefit most from AI as a multiplier? So how can what would that transformation look like? And so maybe if I were to talk about this, is you might even ask yourself a set of some challenges or things that you would be
Another
better
story.
without, and could AI maybe be one of those things that takes care of that activity for you? Any thoughts on that, Mushka?
Okay, I have a story. Again, an embarrassing story. I keep telling. I hope my family does not watch this. So, my dad
You
take
need to
this
quit saying
tablet.
that because you're live on Instagram. So
Oh,
live. Yeah,
oh,
you know that
okay.
there.
Okay, we'll talk about this later. So this is embarrassing. So my dad takes this medicine, right? And he's supposed to take it every alternate day. And I'm the one who reminds him, because he forgets that did he take it the last day or did he not take it the last day. So I like, text him I just text him either a tablet or that, you are not supposed to take the tablet today. uh, and after, like, I went through a rough patch where I was like studying and I was working and I was overwhelmed with everything, and I kept forgetting to text him, and then he would ask me, oh, and he's supposed to take it with breakfast, so there's a specific time when he needs to get that text to know if he's supposed to take that medicine or not. And I just like automated it with my phone. Like, it's not difficult. You can just use your phone and do it. So every day at his breakfast time, he'll get a text, either to take that medicine or to not take that medicine. And it literally removed a thing that was important, but it was a mundane task, and it needed to be done every day. So yeah, that's something that comes to my mind when it comes to elevating or transforming my life. And it's about these little things that you can integrate AI into.
I love that.
And
Think about this. There's a concept called the Pareto principle that I love and I'm a
yes,
big fan of. And it has to do with 20% of usually the things that we're really, really good at create at 80% of our success. And with that, there are a lot of things that could be annoying, take time, that we can move through probably a lot quicker. If you think about this in a work perspective, if I were to have you take any one day and I were to ask you, the list is probably going to be really, really big. What is it either that you don't have time to get to, or that if you do, you wish you didn't have to do, or that is being done that you wish somebody else can do? Like, I think you could come up with a fairly large list of what those things are.
yes,
I guarantee that there is an AI process that would help simplify one of those tasks in some way in order to reduce it so that you could be freed up to do more of the things that you love or that you're even good
yeah.
at in your job, for your businesses, and at work, depending on, again, if you're that entrepreneur and owner or if you're one of those key members. So take a look at that, ask that simple question, find out what that is. My recommendation is what is one of the easiest ways for you to apply a portion of AI into something that you have within your day. Trust me, it's going to become a lot more prevalent in your life as you move forward with this. Let's go ahead and move to the third question. Mushka, why don't you go ahead and ask that question?
Okay, it says, in what ways can AI help you predict and prepare for market trends, enhancing your ability to stay ahead of the curve?
Maybe I'll dive into this one here really quick, and we'll just keep this
Yeah.
simple. But what are some ways that it can predict and prepare for market trends? I don't know if you guys know, but you guys can just have legitimately like a one-on-one conversation with AI. And I'm going to use this. I'm going to take this out of Gary Vaynerchuk, so Gary V, his book, and he talked about this. He says one of his favorite ways to use AI is to simply have a conversation. And that conversation would be particular to, hey, I want to talk about, here is my business. These are the things that I'm doing. What are your thoughts about what might be? And to me, there can be some economical things. There could be some competitive things. There can be some product or service based things that you can ask questions on. And to me, I bring AI into this itself because one of the things that I feel and I see happening is that AI is being used by your direct competitors and it's being used by others that are driving things forward fast. And so, one of the things I like to talk about is one, what are the products or the services that I have, and how do they see that changing? How would it see that changing in the next 6 months, the next year, the next 2 years? What is AI's potential roles in that particular service or in that product development or in the economy that can impact that? And so to me, I'm going to come back to some strategy. You can ask some very, very simple questions that would help you provide some information to it and it to ask you some questions back or to provide you some answers. And I don't want to get into too much detail, but you probably have seen, hey, quick business plans, hey, marketing plans. There are a ton of things. And even if it's not as detailed as you want, the fact is that you have some context and some structure around that is way more powerful than not having that at all and twiddling your thumbs, hoping that you're going to be able to do what you're going to want to do. And by the way, you can reference so many other things in this world. You might have a person that you've read a book on and you really like part of what that philosophy is. Ask it, what's one of the easiest ways for you to apply it in your work or in your life, again, and you can just tell it your situation and it's going to give you some recommendations. The bigger thing for all of you out there is, have you decided to write that down so that you actually find if you change your behavior or not? Different story, different context, but to think about that. So it can actually help you predict part of where your business is, where your business should be going, why it might be going there, what are some impacts regarding the economy, your competitors, and or the products and or the services you provide. So I would highly recommend using and asking a series of questions. In fact, if you're following this, I do have a list of 30 different questions that you should ask yourself regarding AI, and keep your eye open too, because I have a gamification process where there's a simple series of prompts that when you throw it into AI, by the way, it walks through kind of like a game and it will assess for you as your AI companion where you're at with AI. Go ahead, Mushka.
I also think when you talk about trends or when we talk about predictions, I would definitely ask AI if crop tops are here to stay or not when I'm shopping. Or, or no, this Nathan, you can't trivialize it. This is important. Like, just imagine. Okay. I'm not telling you my story. Yes, we can move to the next question. Nathan does not want to hear my story. Or
Oh,
I
Like I guess if our audience is here, we could ask them to raise their hands. I'm pretty sure they would like your story. Maybe if you can have your short story, because we have just two more questions and we'll be done here.
Yes, I want to tell the story. Also, I ask AI when there are sales going on my favorite brands, or when will be the sale in this year for my favorite brand, so that I can, mark the calendar, and so that I know. So if I know that I need 5 pieces every year of clothing, like 5 particular kinds of shirts or 5 particular kinds of shirts and dresses and whatever, why waste my money on full price? I just know when they'll get the sale and I'll just order it then. I'm just saying
Just so
it's
you
easy.
know, that is a super clever way. Why don't you just quickly walk through, like, what does that look like? Just a quick
Okay.
example of that.
Okay, so basically you go to your favorite AI. I call it my AI bestie, whatever free version you have. You ask them that, hey, AI, I love this brand, and can you tell me that when will this brand go off on seasonal discounts, or when will this brand have a sale in this year? And I tell him or her that you can predict it from past years' experience of when they've had sale. So it comes out with an entire trend of previously this brand has gone on sales or discounts through these times of the years, and most probably this year it will go on discount on these times of the years. And I then can tell AI to save the date on my calendar, so that I know that the discount season is beginning on this particular brand, and then I can just buy stuff on these discounts. I don't have to pay full price, and I can be as stylish as I want without breaking the bank.
Love that so much. Sorry, I'm just adjusting a quick camera bit here because I think I'm coming up fuzzy to everybody. I hope I'm not. But we're gonna look at this next
It's
question.
okay,
So
Nathan. You're as pretty as you've always been. Please stop fussing about that.
there you go. With everybody, try that at home because I am thinking, like right now, we're around the time Valentine's is coming up. Obviously,
Yes,
those types of things go on sales or discounts, but I love that because that is such a simple, direct, easy way. Mushka is, I am going to need this. How and when would I buy it? And when might I find it at the best price? You also, by the way, if you go online and use other online tools too,
yeah,
Perplexity, there are several of these, but it searches the webs. If you're on your own AI, there are options where you can turn it on to search the web, and you can look at also past history, existing history, and you can have it predict
exactly.
future history as well. You
And,
might not know
and
that, but you can
Nathan,
ask a lot of questions. Go ahead.
this goes back to you when you go like, Mushka, how many shirts do you have? Because you're just seeing the shirt and this, and Mushka, I've never seen you repeat stuff. And Mushka, how do you have like so many clothes? Now you know.
That makes complete sense. All right. Let's go to our next question here. And I'll go ahead and look at this one. This one says, how can leveraging AI improve your decision-making process and enable you to make smarter and faster choices in high-pressure situations? Whew, that's a
I
good
have
one.
I have a story to this.
Awesome.
As always, connecting dots from the last thing that I told you. If you see something on sale, and if you see something that the price has dropped, you can ask AI that, understanding the previous trends, would the price go down more or would it not? So like, because during the holiday seasons, you're always in that feeling that, oh, should I buy it right now? Or maybe should I wait for 3 more days? It will go down more. Is it the clearance time coming up? Is it Christmas? Is it Black Friday? You have all those questions. And for that decision-making process, you can just ask AI. They will tell you, they will know what this particular brand or company did last year, or in a year before that, or a year before that. They would know, and they can help you make a more sophisticated choice.
I'll use, by the way, thank you very much for sharing that. I think that is absolutely a way. I'll tell you something specifically with business that I
Okay.
have done recently that is a high impact decision. Is if you think about this, any one given day, any one given week, any one given month, we only are allocated so much time. That is the
Yes,
consistency that every single person has throughout this world. The people who are most successful, okay, have actually just found how to utilize that more effectively and leverage
right.
pieces that happen within that same time frame. And one of the things that I had looked at is really a good practice for all businesses is instead of trying to, by the way, we're not going to spend a lot of time, but you need to be thinking about past this year down the road on what a ideal position would be for your business. But if we simplify that and say within this quarter, what is the most impactful actions that I can take? You can ask a general question, but you can also say, here are the key things that I'm working on in my business. Here's what I'm looking and needing to complete and to finish. If you're in e-commerce, it can be the same thing with products, new product assortments, groups and bundling. It can deal with innovation. You can like a part of your revenue. If you're a service company, you can do these same types of things. And so what you can decide is I'm working and these are the things that I'm going to be doing. If I'm going to be spending and or my team is going to be, and you can actually have a list and rank these in order of most effective time spent to potential output and revenue. What should I be doing regarding these and what portions of my day or my people's time should be placed towards that? And again, this is a great way when you can begin to have part of a conversation, either typing or in conversation, to have it bring those things out. And this is the thing, Mushka, a lot of people use AI generically. And I don't know,
Right.
you can be very clear and very
Very
precise with AI
specific.
too.
And you can be very specific as well.
So again, that's a great way to do so and looking at that. As an example, I have some marketing plans that I use with customers and clients, and I wanted to look and see if I might had been off regarding some of the plans and the strategies I had used because they were looking at what some alterations might be to their annual plan. So I went and actually asked it slightly more generic, and then I asked it more specifically. Luckily, knowing the things that I had already extracted out and that I had put in place were a lot more specific, but it was a great way for me to balance and do a check and balance on am I putting time in the right places. With that, it also caused me to think about a few things in my business. Part of those were, the amount of leads or a percentage of leads. And so there's a great way to use it to make and help you make decisions that are critical. By the way, this can be done in your personal life. It's not a psychologist. So be very careful. It's not a smart person that it does know all your situations. So don't blindly follow it. But I would say feel free to ask it.
Nathan just
You
reminded me. If
here,
you're unwell and you Google it, every time it tells you that you have cancer. Like even if you have a headache or a knee ache or whatever, Google tells you you
I'm
have
pretty sure
cancer.
that if I ask mine that, it will not tell me that. So, but that's interesting to know. So
That's
really
a
quick,
meme.
you might not know this. So those that are newer to AI, you can ask AI to take on a persona.
Yeah.
You can ask AI to be a person, to look, to act, to speak. Sorry, not to look, to speak like this person. One of the examples it brings up is like IBM's Watson, which is an assistant executive. You can say, "Hey, I want you to be like IBM's Watson and help me as with some of these complex decisions that I'm
Yeah.
needing to look at." So again, you can ask it to be somebody. I often, when I write, since I'm not such an eloquent writer, I like to use the voice of other people who I feel do great jobs at telling stories. And so what it can do is it can bring those things in. So you can prompt AI to respond or to become a type of a person that it will then help extract its data with your data and your insights and put them together in that way. All right, Mushka, I know we're kind of running out of time here, wanting to finish
Yes.
up. Let's go ahead and go to the last question.
Yeah. What strategies can you implement to ensure AI becomes a long-term multiplier in your life rather than just a short-term tool?
Well, this is a good one. This is a little bit of a kind of a personal one. And I like to say, how might you future proof yourself and looking at AI? And I'm going to talk about this in two ways. I think there's a personal side and then there's a career and business side. What would you like to talk about, Mushka?
Okay. For me, I read it recently that motivation, obviously, we all know that motivation does not last. And for discipline, most days discipline feels like a chore. So if you want to, inculcate something in yourself or a habit, you need to start thinking like that person. Like I'm this person, that's why I need to develop this habit, etc. I was just thinking and applying AI to this. Like I can ask AI that, I want to do this and I want to achieve this and I want to do this. Which is the next book that I want to read? That's something that I've done, ensuring that AI is helping me become this person in the long run. Now, I know that's not exactly what you're asking. It's asking how
No,
can
it's
you
it's
use it?
it's exactly part of that because that is a personal component of how and why. And then I'm going to throw a spin on this, but go
Yeah.
ahead.
It's just, and that's not just it. It's my day-to-day habits like eating, like reading a book, or maybe, I feel again, winter seasons can be tough. So I can tell AI that I'm in this situation where, I'm living alone or I'm living with a friend or something, and I want some sort of activity. This is the place where I live. Can you tell me what's going on and where can I go? And I want, and this is my budget. This is the amount of money that I want to spend. And so that, entertainment has been made easy with AI. Food has been made easy with AI. Okay, another thing, I have allergy to certain surfactants. So I would not know which washing surfactant should I use for my laundry. AI made it easier. And AI actually told me that I could go to Amazon and buy it for $10 and rather than going to my closest store because it's like $14 there. I was like, why, thank you. I can do that. So in everyday things like eating and cooking and going out with friends and all those things, I take help of my AI bestie and in order to ensure that everything is going well and I'm not wasting a lot of time in the planning part of my life and rather actually living my life.
All right. I appreciate that. And I have not used it quite to your level on those things, Mushka. I do think that is a fantastic, easy way to look at doing that. I'm going to give two synopsises here, and then this is kind of what we use to wrap this up. Um, I'm getting really serious right now, as you can see. I'm
Mhm.
contemplating this, and I have to say this because this is so intense. You're going to hear me go on a slight rant here. This might scare some people. If you're a business owner, this might scare you. If you're a key player, an employee, whatever, this might scare you. And I believe it's going to be 100% true. I believe that what will happen is that individuals will become and or businesses will become non-existent within 2 to 3 years, and not all categories, but it'll be much harder to exist as a business without them integrating AI. And I
Mm.
will say, if you're an employee, you'll become unemployable as a person. And don't take that wrong. Feel free, share your comments in here. But this isn't about you not changing who you are with your skills. And it doesn't mean that there are AIs taking over your job. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, and just imagine this. Let's say we have an office, 10 people, and in there we're all hustling. And there's communication, and simple things like emails. There's customer service calls. There's documents that have to be created. There's entries that have to be made into the financial logbooks and all these other things that have to happen. And we have an employee who decides to go find out in their lives what they can do to, in their same time in their day, in their same 8 hours, to reduce the amount of time it takes for them to do tasks so that they can work on better, more profitable, cash creating, time saving initiatives for the business. And let's say that only 1 out of 10 does that. Time goes along and that person will continue to enhance their skills. The business will continue to enhance its skills. Year 1, year 2, year 3. And now let's say that business B, 9 out of their 10 employees, 9 out of their 10 processes, 5 out of their customer service engagement processes, 3 out of their financial services, they have AI integrated into it. Okay. So let's go back to business A. If business A, employee 2, who was not engaged with AI, decides that they want to go find a new job or find a way to increase their wage, is business B even going to consider that person? And I hate to say this, I'm not. I
Mm.
need the person who is in a place where I actually want them to come in and help me do even more with the trajectory of my business. And so, what I believe from a personal perspective and from a business perspective is that you need to get away, find a way to put your feet in. You can't, dip your toe if you want to, but find a way to start to plunge into this so that it can become a part of your personal day. It can become part of your business day. It can become part of your business and your engagements and your interactions to enhance who you are, to allow you to be more capable, allow you to have more time, allow you to reduce and get rid of some of those things that are just not as ideal to you. Okay. And if you can do that, then what you're doing is you're building a future proof business. You're building a business that is set in the context of where things are going as well. So I just wanted to share that because I believe businesses that don't allow their employees to have what I would like to call an AI day. In simple, I think that every business once a quarter should take one full day. And that might sound like a lot of investment. It is, in any way you can stagger that so that that employee can go look at how AI can help them be more effective, more efficient, save more time, and make more money for the business. And then come back and do a proposal on one of those simple things. And I'll come back with some takeaways here regarding that. But Mishka, I want to talk to one last thing personally. And you talked about book reading, you talked about improving
Yeah.
yourself. One of the best ways I've used this as well as is in conjunction with my book reading. One of the other ones, as I've been reading books recently, um, one of the things that has come to my mind is often I like to audible listen to some things, and
Mm.
sometimes I'll read. AI, by the way, now with cameras and certain ones, you can scan and it can help extract things from a particular page for you. But I've had it create quick, short, what I call executive synopsises. And so I
Mm.
can say, hey, I would like you to provide an executive summary of this book with the 3 key pieces that I could take and implement into my life in the next month, the next quarter. And so what I can do, and I've used this in order to help extract things that I can use. And then I also will have it create a one-page reference guide for me so that if I wanted to, I can go back to that one-page reference and take a look at and just refresh my mind on those key things. So
That
what
is
happens is
amazing.
we can listen and hear, we can see, and then we can transform, because what I've done is I've decided, and it's been very effective for me, to extract key concepts and decide what those look like in my life and have it give me a shortened plan and then give me a document that I can refer to often as far as those concepts. And so it's helped me be able to not just hear, but to be able to comprehend. And then my third thing, most importantly, is to transform that into the do's. And so that has been one of the key things that for me has been a great way to use that for personal book studies as well. So it can become your companion. Just so you know, you can set reminders and do other things with that now. That was a new thing that came out actually in ChatGPT. Just love your like your text messages, Mushka. So I'm just going to finish this. Just some key insights, kind of as a last bit here. McKinsey, a study done by McKinsey, said and suggested that AI can enhance productivity by up to 40%,
Yeah.
especially in knowledge work, which is really, really interesting. So that's really interesting. Another one that it kind of has a prediction here. It says that AI-driven customer service tools will reduce response times by 70%. Because if you think about we as humans and our time and our tasks, and a lot of times if you think about chat bots and phone bots, people just want answers. I just want answers. And the faster I can get those, the better I'm going to be. Sometimes I'm going to
Mm.
want to talk to a person, but I do know that AI is getting much, much better. And I do know, and I've heard this and I believe it, is in the future, you're going to want to talk to an AI more than you're going to want to talk to a representative, because it will be more clear, more
Yeah.
precise, more direct, more specific to you and your needs. It'll know your behaviors and it'll be delivering more of what you want. And I honestly, truly believe that. So you're not going to get me off the fence of that. Another one it talked about really quick is just think about this in your mind. Take a list at least 3 things that you feel you can do regarding AI. So in essence, create a small, actionable, small AI framework. So think of a small AI pilot you can do in your life. Mushka, if you talked about this recently with Google, they just put Gemini into their
Yeah.
emails. If you're like, hey, I want to enhance and make it easier for me to respond to emails, start that and start to use that, because what's going to happen is it's going to feel a little bit painful, Mushka, right? It's like a new habit. You're not going to be quite so sure. First day is not going
Mm.
to work so good. Second day is going to get better. By the end of the first week, you're going to start feeling like you're going to get the hang of it. And pretty soon, you're not going to be able to want to do anything without it. And that way,
So true.
you can look at what you're getting as a return. So that's my recommendation: is look at what you can do, how you can use AI as a multiplier in your life, in your business, in your career, in what you're wanting to do as you move forward. I'm recommending to get on the boat. Please put any comment, ask any kind of questions that you might have that you would love to present to us so that we can help provide those. And then come join our community. Our last call would be subscribe, like, and share the
Sure.
information that you've got going with us. And then Mushka, we have a couple different things. One is my last call here would be is we have a Facebook community, which is great from ThriveWorks 360, but we do have a specific free set of courses or classes that we do when we put these
Right.
videos together that come with worksheets, downloadable worksheets that ask you questions so that you can actually literally fill in the blanks, along with some videos that walk through part of those processes with our what we call our TGA, our Thrive Growth Academy. And we do have a free version of that. So we'd encourage you to come join our Thrive Growth Academy, and let's connect in there with others that are looking at moving forward in the same way you are and improving their lives, finding abundance both in their times and in their wealth and their health and in their relationships.
And the
So we look
personal
forward
and
to that.
professional lives.
Personal and professional. And with that, we appreciate your time. Any last sign off, Mushka, from you? Because that was my last rant there. Got pretty passionate, but I 100% believe in that. So
I feel so excited talking about these things and engaging with people with respect to these things. And I would just want people to comment whatever they thought about it, and also comment anything else that they want us to talk about.
great. What other topics do you think would be great? What can we do? We'll we'll put more information in the comments of this as we post and kind of rework this video
I,
into our
I I think
YouTube and other
one
channels. But
one video would definitely be us doing soming with AI and showing people that how less
oh,
of time
we
and
were going to
easy
maybe
it
do that
is.
today, but
Yeah.
we'll look at a better way of getting that on, and we're going to share
Yes.
many things with how to on AI. All right.
Yes. Let's
Thanks,
do that.
everybody.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
All right. It did